Hello everyone, welcome to the video series on Java Technologies Lab. So in this video, I am going to discuss about the theoretical concepts associated with the program number 3. So what is the aim of this program is to write a Java program for demonstrating two-tier client-server model. Okay, so we are going to demonstrate how a two-tier client-server model works. Okay. So what is a client server model means? In this model, there are two entities. One is client, another one is server. So if you take your system, that is your PC or laptop, and you are using a browser like Firefox or Google Chrome, and in the address bar of the browser, you will type www.google.com. Okay, so that thing is called a request. So what does client do is client will send requests to whom? To a server. Okay, so in our example, google.com will have a set of servers, one or more servers associated with the google.com domain. So that server, what does it do is it takes the request and it will send the page as a response back to the client. So whenever you hit google.com, you will see a web page, no, the home page of Google. So that thing is a response which is sent by the server. Okay, so this is a simple client server model. Client will always send request and the server takes the request, process the request and sends back response to the client. Okay, so whatever technologies that are used for displaying the web pages, those things are like for example HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so these are the major technologies which are used to create web pages which the client will see. And this is also called as front end. So whatever the client is seeing on their machine, that is called as front end, and these are examples of front end technologies: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And on the other end, we have the server, right? The server also uses some technologies for processing the requests and sending back responses. One such technology is servlets, which is a Java technology. So this is backend technology. So backend is nothing but the technologies that we use on the server side. Okay, one such technology is servlets, and usually for supporting these backend technologies, there will be some specific or special software, server software that is required. Okay, one such server software which is Java related is Apache Tomcat Server, and in our example, we are going to use the version 10.1.x. This x can be anything, so we are using 10.1 version of Apache Tomcat. Okay, without this server, the technology cannot be supported. Only when you install this server, this technology is supported. Okay, and in the aim of the program, we have seen two tier, right? So what is two tier? Client server model means client and server will be there. Two tier means this is tier one, the client, and this is tier two, the server. So this is a two tier client server model. Okay, like I said, this is tier one and server is tier two. So here I have also shown you three tier architecture. So tier one is the client system, tier two is the application server or web server. In our example, let's say this can be considered as web server and the application server. And tier 3 here, let's say there is a database server. Okay, examples of DBMSs are Oracle, okay, IBM DB2, PostgreSQL, and so on. Okay, for example, if you are maintaining another separate server for your databases, that can be considered as tier 3. Okay, so in our example, we are going to demonstrate this one, tier 1 and tier 2, two tier client server model. Okay, right. And also in our example, so let me show you the output of the program. So in the program, what we are going to do is we are going to create a simple HTML web page. So this is the HTML web page where we are going to show a button, display a button, and the button says invoke servlet. That is saying execute the servlet. Okay, and the file name will be index.html, and another file will be hello servlet. So this is our servlet Java file. Okay, so what are we doing in the servlet file? We are simply displaying hello world message. Okay, so this is the output for our program. So let's come back. So this requires some knowledge of HTML and also requires the knowledge of servlets. So first of all, let's discuss something about HTML. So HTML abbreviates to hypertext markup language. So here we have something called markup. So what is this markup means? Actually in HTML we will have something called tags. For example, you are seeing HTML tag, head tag, title tag, body tag, etc. We have other tags also like this. So whatever we write in a page using these tags, that thing is called as markup. Okay, so what are we typically doing using this markup is we are trying to describe the content of a web page. Okay, so how can you describe HTML is it's a language for describing the content of a web page. So how are you describing means, for example, if you look at this img tag, this is used to display images. So you are saying that this particular thing is an image, and this p is used for displaying paragraphs of text. So whenever you use this p tag, that means you are saying that we are writing a paragraph like that. Okay, and also HTML is a case insensitive language. So that means if you write like this HTML in all small letters, or if you write HTML in capital letters, there is no need to worry. Both are same. Okay. So that is some introduction to HTML, and there are so many tags that you can use in HTML to create a web page, but the most basic tags or fundamental tags that are there in HTML are these four: HTML, head, title, and body. Okay, so what is the use of HTML tag? So whenever we are using these tags, we are saying that whatever code we are writing in between these tags, that thing is called as HTML. The text is written using HTML. Okay, and this head tag, this is used to specify the head section of a web page. Generally, the web page contains two sections. One is head section, another one is body section. So inside the head tag, one of the tags we will use is title tag. Okay, and what is the use of the title tag? It is used to display the title of a web page. Okay, and the second section, which is called body, this is the major section, and whatever we want to actually display on the web page, we will write it inside the body section. Okay, so you can see it is used to specify the body of a web page. And inside this body tag, what are the other tags that we will use are these things: a tag along with href attribute, this thing is used to display hyperlinks, and img tag for displaying images, p tag for displaying paragraphs, and div tag, this is used to display divisions. Like if you want to divide your web page into logical sections, we will use this div tag. Okay, div means division, right? And there are so many other tags also, but we are not going to discuss all of those things here. So mind you, this is a Java Technologies lab, this is not a Web Technologies lab. So the discussion of all these tags is out of scope. Okay, and here I am demonstrating some of the tags we have seen. So this is the p tag, which is used to display paragraphs. Okay, so actually most of the tags in HTML have two things. One is opening tag, which is written like this, and another one is closing tag, which is written using a slash. Okay, so this is the opening p tag and this is the closing p tag. Whatever you write in between these tags, this will be treated as a paragraph. Okay, and on the other hand, some of the tags in HTML will not have any closing tag. That means you will not have this. So one such tag is the img tag, which is used to display images. Okay, so the tag name is img, and src, this is an attribute. Okay, the tags also will have attribute, which are used to perform which are used to provide some extra information. So in this case, what we are saying is the source of the image is available at this location. Okay, the source of the image that is needed to be displayed on the web page is at this location. Okay, and we can close this tag using slash angle bracket. Okay, so this is not the closing tag, but within the opening tag we are just closing it like this. Okay, right. So let me stop here and let me show you or demonstrate a simple web page using HTML. So we are back in the Eclipse IDE. So on the left hand side in the Project Explorer, you can right click here, or you can click the File menu and go to New, and you can go to Dynamic Web Project. Okay, so you can click this one. Actually, for HTML, we don't need Dynamic Web Project. You can click on this one also, Static Web Project. Okay, so okay, let's proceed with Dynamic Web Project only. Okay, so project name. So I am giving like HTML test. So this project name can be anything. Okay, and then click on finish. Okay, so the project is created, right? So you will have so many things here. Mm, so what is important is this src folder, and the most important folder is web app. So here you have to remember this webinf. I will discuss this in the next video. Webinf folder will be there, uh, and this web app folder will be there, which contains two folders: meta information and web information. Okay, and the important thing is this web information. So now you right click this project name HTML test, and then new HTML file. Okay, right, now it is asking the name of the file. Okay, so let's view the name of the file as index.html. Okay, so by default it will be creating in the web app, so don't change this, and click on finish. Okay, now if you see on the left hand side under web app directory, our file is created, index.html. So remember this, all the HTML files will be available under web app folder. Okay, not only HTML, you will have HTML, CSS, mm, JSP files, JavaScript files, all available under the web app folder. So web app means web application. Okay, now on the right hand side some code is created for us by default. You can remove that. Okay, now the first tag that is needed is HTML. Okay, so your Eclipse IDE will automatically create the closing tags also for you. No need to write. Now within the HTML tags, there are two sections. One is head section, and another one is, like I told you, body section. Okay. Now in the head section, we have one of the tags that can be used is title. There are other tags also. We are not going to discuss about all of them. So title tags are used to display the title of the web page, right? So let me write my web page is the title. Okay, now in the body, let's use the paragraph tag. Okay, and let me write hello world. This is my first web page. Okay, right. So this is a very simple web page that I have created using HTML. Right, now how to execute this is just click on this run button at the top, Now it will display run on server dialog like this, run on server. Now in the previous video we have already added the Tomcat server, right? So select that and click on finish. Okay, it is saying the server may need to be restarted. Okay, click okay. So okay, it is starting. Now the browser will automatically open. Okay, so see here. Hello world, this is my first web page, right? And here you can see the title of the web page, which is my web page. Okay, so that's it. Uh, so we have created a very basic thing. So this is not something very complex or difficult, right? So if any one of you are interested in learning HTML, just go to Google and type HTML tutorial, and there are so many of them available on Google, as well as they are available on YouTube also for free. So just watch those videos and learn how to use HTML for creating web pages. Later you can use CSS also, but we are not going to use CSS in our uh, lab. Okay, so right. So let me go back to PowerPoint presentation. Right. So that's it about HTML. Okay. Now we are moving on to the back end, which is servlets. Okay. Now you can see it's a Java-based technology, like I told you earlier, and it is used for server-side processing. Okay. And what are the other technologies that are available besides servlets? There is something called JSP. This is also Java technology. Actually, we will discuss about JSP in the coming labs. Okay. JSP means Java Server Pages. Okay, and the other non-Java technologies are PHP, which is very popular, and there is Node.js. This is a JavaScript technology, Node.js, and there is something called Perl also. Okay, not only these things, there are other technologies also. So there is Microsoft ASP, Advanced Server Pages, like that. Okay. Now, how do you define a servlet? So you can see here, it is a Java. It is a special Java class that is dynamically loaded on the server, and which is used to generate dynamic content. Okay. So servlet is just a special Java class. You are already familiar with how to create a Java class, right? So you have already learned core Java. Now it is a Java class that is dynamically loaded on the server for generating dynamic content. Okay, right. Now these are the basic steps in which uh, mm, the client server model works along with servlets. So here is the client. Okay, the client uses a web browser to send requests. So in this case, we are using HTTP protocol for sending the request. Okay, you can think of this as typing www.google.com on your web browser. So that is the request. Now this request is received by a web server. Okay, now your request says that, for example, you need a servlet. Okay, now the web server identifies that your request needs a servlet, and it forwards the request to another server which contains servlet container. Okay, so for example, in the just in this video, previously I have told you that there is something called Apache Tomcat Server, right? So what does Apache Tomcat Server do is it provides something called servlet container. Okay, so it's a software which is required for executing servlets. Just think like that. Okay, now the web server will forward the request to a servlet container. Now the servlet container will create an object for the required servlet class, and if the request needs access to a database, it will forward the request to a database, get the response back, and that response is sent to the web server, and finally the web server forwards that response to the client. Okay, so whatever you are seeing here on this slide, this is not a one tier architecture. So we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. So this is a 4 tier architecture. For example, if all these three things, that is the web server, servlet container, and database, are maintained on the same server, then this becomes a 2 tier architecture. Okay, so it is always dependent upon how you are maintaining these different things, whether on a single server or n number of servers. Okay, right. Now let's discuss something about the Servlet API. So the Servlet API contains some set of classes and interfaces which specifies some set of rules between a servlet class and a servlet container. Okay, so remember it. Who provides the servlet container? The server software provides the servlet container. So in our example or in our program, the servlet container is provided by Apache Tomcat Server. So you can see here some examples of servers that provide servlet containers. Are first example is Apache Tomcat, which we are using, and other examples are Oracle's WebLogic server and IBM's WebSphere server, and there is something called JBoss, etc. And there is some, and one other example is Glassfish. Okay, it is also provided by Oracle, right? And all these classes and interfaces are available in these two packages, Jakarta.servlet and Jakarta.servlet.http package. Okay, so whatever classes and interfaces we are going to use in our servlets, they are available in these two packages, right? Okay. Now for the program, we are going to create a simple HTML page which shows the button, and this is the servlet code which simply displays the message hello world. Okay, so that's it. In the next video we are going to see the demonstration of this program. Thank you.